So here's a fanfiction that I think many haven't thought about, or maybe they have, and I'm gonna make it a little bit crazy and far-fetched and fun, because it's just more exciting that way. So, what if Mr. Miyagi actually did kill John Kreese in Karate Kid 2? Now, I've done that video where I explained how he could have actually killed him, but this one's going to be a fanfiction that we're going to follow the story if he actually did. So Mr. Miyagi was a man of deadly martial arts from Okinawa. We know this. He knew how to defend himself, but also how to kill an opponent just as well as Sato did. The only difference was, he chose not to. Now, Miyagi studied the art of self-control. He knew if he let his control go, he would basically turn to the dark side, just like Kreese did. So what if, at the start of Karate Kid 2, we actually had the fight between Kreese and Miyagi? Daniel signs his autographs and he goes to get in the truck, when him and Miyagi see Sensei Kreese choking Johnny and slapping the crap out of the other Cobra Kai students. Miyagi walks over, frees Johnny from Kreese's chokehold, and throws Kreese away. Kreese punches the car window, cutting up his hand, and then the other, only to fall to his knees in defeat and fear and mercy to Miyagi. Miyagi then winds up his finishing karate chop full of lethal energy to break Kreese's neck. Ending the karate master's life, he falls to the floor, limp, dead. Everyone around screams in fear and disgust as they just see and hear Kreese's neck break, with a shattering bone snap throughout the entire parking lot. The referees and judges and officials run for their cars and the hills. As others call the police, Johnny is frozen in fear as he looks up at Mr. Miyagi like he's a monster. Kreese just laying on the floor, motionless and dead. Dutch, however, attacks Miyagi as he feels a sense of duty to avenge his dead sensei. Dutch, of course, was always the most evil of the Cobra Kai. Miyagi sees the attacker and karate kicks him into the stomach. Dutch falls to the floor, blood spitting out of his mouth. Miyagi then grabs Dutch by the head and tells him that he's just like his sensei and won't do any good by staying alive in society. So he karate chops Dutch's neck and Dutch falls to the floor next to Kreese, both dead. Johnny screams again, now crawling under the car in fear and hiding as the cops arrive. They all pull their guns on Mr. Miyagi, where he crouches to the ground, then springs up into the air, the ground quaking and cracking beneath his immense flight as he rises to the moonlit sky like Neo from the Matrix, watching over the peasants below him. His eyes glow red as lasers begin to fire a hell of fury from the... Sorry, I got carried away here. Okay, so back to the story. Mr. Miyagi looks at Kreese's corpse. He can't believe that he just did this. He killed the Cobra Kai master. It was against his teachings, against everything that he believed in and was taught by his father. How could he do this? Dutch screams and runs away like the coward that he is. Johnny sucking his thumb by the driver's side wheel of the car on the floor, staring at the ground as he rocked back and forth. Daniel runs up to Mr. Miyagi, screaming at him, "Why did you do it? How could you do it?" Mr. Miyagi starts tearing up himself, not sure what came over him. The rage, the anger. Palpatine rises from the shadows. "Good, my apprentice. Use your dark..." Oh, sorry, wrong story. The cops arrive to arrest Miyagi, where he goes to jail for the murder of John Kreese. Miyagi ends up serving a life sentence for the death of Kreese at the hands of Silver's expensive lawyers. Allie leaves Daniel for having such a psycho like Mr. Miyagi in his life, and she wants nothing to do with it, so she cuts him out. Daniel becomes enraged and lost. He never goes to Okinawa, never meets the Okinawan love of his life, and never learns the drum technique. Sato never becomes good, and Chosen never learns his place. They continue to treat Okinawa like a dictatorship. Cobra Kai is absolved, and everyone feels a soft spot for it in America. Sure, it had a bad teacher, but now that he's dead, they feel bad and sorry for the students. From the nuclear sludge, Terry Silver rises to open 100 Cobra Kai dojos across the valley, driving out any remnants of Miyagi-Do ever existing. Under the pretense of honoring the dead war hero, Kreese, Terry Silver brainwashes his students across the entire valley, to be merciless, to strike and kill, and that fear does not exist in this dojo. Cobra Kai is a massive success. It spreads worldwide. Soon the entire planet is filled with cobras ready to strike, and at the top of the throne sits Terry Silver, CEO of Dynatox Industries and Cobra Kai Karate. Cobra Kai gets so big that they actually enter into the Kumite, where Frank Dukes enters to make his Shidoshi proud. He ends up defeating all Cobra Kai members and everyone else in the tournament, becoming the victor and the world's greatest martial artist. He then goes to open his own school to balance the Cobra Kai obsession on the earth. Dim Mak Karate opens to the public in 1989, and the world finally sees balance and peace as the Cobras begin to dwindle out of society. As our story comes to an end, We hear the constant movement of bricks and scratching of walls. We see in a lowly jail cell a bearded short man with a bandana of a blue sun with rays making his escape of the jail. Miyagi sets his sight on the horizon as he takes a big breath in and says, "Bonsai!" as he heads to find Daniel-san and take back the name of Miyagi-Do Karate. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this absolutely stupid and ridiculous fanfiction. I had a fun time writing it. Actually, it was super random. I just started writing and I just kept going with dumb thoughts. And then I crossed worlds with Bloodsport and Karate Kid and The Matrix and Star Wars and all that. So, hey, I hope you had fun. Hope it was entertaining. Leave a like if you enjoyed this kind of a stupid fanfiction. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Until then, remember, pain does not exist in this dojo, does it?